There is a new hot topic happening in the news these days that PUBG
Yeah,
Mobile might get banned. So
yeah.
so do you think that it would be banned by the government of India? And if so happens, what do you think, in your opinion, would be the legal aspects involved in it? Hello, everybody. My name is SteveZDad, and welcome to this podcast. Today, we discuss a topic about PUBG Mobile getting banned, and as well as we also talk about its effect on the esport industry. Today, we have some amazing guests of honor, but first, I'm going to call upon Arsh B. Like, and he's my creative director as well. And let's say, how's it going? Hey, Arsh.
Yo, what up? That's what I
Hello,
always
Arsh.
do.
Oh, yeah. What up, Arsh? How's it going on?
Oh, it's
Everything
it's
is
it's all
awesome.
good. It rained. It's
It
all
rained.
good.
Beautiful
And
morning.
we got some nice people with us. First of all, we have Aman Biswas, aka A-Man, and he's worked for Nvidia for 3.5 years, and he's been working with GC. He does a lot of stuff. He founded Acidcast and Nerdmeet, and he plays way too many games.
Hello, Aman. How are you
Uh,
doing, sir? Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, I'm doing good. Like locked inside the house like everyone else, but doing good.
Yay! Thank
it
you so much
is
for
what it
joining.
is. It
It
is
is
what
what
it
it
is,
is,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Everybody guesses doing their thing, trying their best to be, right?
yeah.
Right. All right.
And and then we have Rudraksh. So he's a
Okay.
gaming journalist and a tournament admin for Mogul.gg.
Hi,
And he
Rudraksh.
also plays
Hello.
many esports games, I guess.
Awesome,
Not
man.
the
And
us
video
Awesome.
games
plebs
too.
games.
It's a real pleasure to have you on board, Rudraksh. It's a great thing. I'm gonna be hearing amazing stuff from you today.
Uh, Probably.
Probably. All right. All right. Right.
Probably.
Great, guys. It's great to have you here. So let's jump into our first question for the day. Mobile gaming has been on a thing for quite some time now in India. So my first question to you guys is, what is your professional opinion on mobile gaming in general? Rudraksh.
Um, for countries like developing countries like India, it introduced esports, right? So I think it is a good thing because apart we have a lot of variations, we have a lot of variety now, and there are a lot of people that have access to esports, right?
Right.
Because when it comes to third world countries like India and other countries in SCA and even countries like Brazil, the games that are popular right now are all mobile games rather than PC games and all. And Free Fire, BlueStacks gets the most people from Brazil for the Free Fire thing.
What do you think, Aman, about this mobile environment popping up, and how do you think it is coming up and growing up?
Um, I've been into gaming for a long time, right? I've been into gaming for since I was like 5 years old, and I think first saw mobile gaming pop up slowly in like 2010, 11, with iPhones specifically, right? And it wasn't there on Android. And back then, I don't think anyone saw all of this coming, right? Because people were still skeptical about what games can actually work in mobile because of the user interface and stuff like that, right? At the end of the day, all the buttons and everything, you have to put it in that tiny screen. It's
Right.
not just the graphics, it's also the buttons you have to press in that screen, right? And
Correct.
there's a lot of disadvantages, but the basic advantage is that everyone has a mobile phone. And I think that played to the advantage of why I mean, we saw games go viral before, but they were never games like PUBG. Previously, it was games like Subway Surfer, Flappy Bird, then you had Candy Crush, which were more casual oriented, like something you can play for 5 minutes and be like done. It's not an esports competitive game, right? And I
Correct.
think PUBG's changed the scene. PUBG and also these League of MOBA type games on mobile, right? Well, I think one of them is Mobile Legends. Um, yeah, so they changed the scene considerably to what it is today, and I think like mobile gaming is a lot more developed. In When I say developed, I mean look at the games that are coming out in mobile, and I think you can see a lot of high quality games coming out on a more regular basis than you would see say 5 years ago, and I think that's going to improve more so.
Okay, okay. So speaking on in this context of esports and mobile gaming, Aman, how do you think, like, what kind of impact does mobile game is going to have on the esports industry in general? in coming up times?
I mean, in it had the biggest effect in India in the last 2 years.
Hmm.
What gaming in India has existed for a long time, like at least 20-25 years by now, right? Some of the first blogs came out in 2002, 2003,
Hmm.
and some of the first events in India happened back early 1998, I think, right? And more importantly, a lot of people don't know we even had a TV show in India for video games back
Oh,
in 2004.
oh, I think I've seen that one. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of newcomers won't know that, right? Who are in the industry.
Hmm.
But if you see where we have come since, say, the last 25 years, and if you see what has happened in the last 2 years in
Hmm.
comparison,
Hmm.
mobile gaming has impacted gaming, at least in India, in a way that nothing else has impacted gaming. Like, it has brought in business, it has brought in jobs, it has brought in a lot of viewers, it has shot up the Indian esports viewership or gaming viewership
Hmm.
up so much that it has gotten international recognition, and we finally have um, international esports teams from India
Correct.
representing and winning
Correct.
titles.
Correct. That's
So I
correct.
think there's a huge impact, and it's very visible.
What do you think, Rudraksh, about the impact of mobile gaming on esports in general?
Mm, See, in Western countries like US and all, right,
Yeah.
they used to hold mobile gaming specific tournaments as well, even before PUBG mobile came,
Hmm.
right? But they weren't as popular. There was this one tournament I remember where YouTubers and all those people were playing, but it didn't get much attention. Now,
Hmm.
when it comes to countries like India, countries like Philippines, Indonesia, mobile gaming has really taken off, like really taken off. um in India, see, we have a lot of population, right? And when it comes to PUBG, right, we have like 24% of the shares of, the user base, right?
Hmm.
So it's like, so these things, they are becoming, I mean, they have made esports a thing. Before this,
Correct.
people didn't really know about esports, right? There weren't a lot of people, there weren't a
Correct.
lot of kids playing video games,
Right.
and apart from esports, it has also taken, made streaming a viable career now.
Awesome. With streaming, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Uh,
That's beautiful coming from amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, see, before mobile gaming, we didn't really have a lot of streamers. I mean, there were a few streamers, right? They didn't get a lot of viewers,
Hmm.
right? I mean,
Hmm.
I'm sure you agree with me, right? Now,
I do. I do.
after mobile gaming came, um, those the streamers who were streaming before as well, they switched to streaming mobile games. They
Hmm.
saw a jump in the viewers,
Yeah.
and now it is transitioning from just mobile games to even single player games. I mean, Carrie Minati was streaming The Last of Us 2, and people were watching it, right?
Hmm.
Zaya was streaming Doom Eternal,
Hmm.
and she mostly streams
Correct.
PC games, but we owe that boom to mobile gaming, right?
Correct. Correct.
So
Correct.
I
Correct.
mean, we need that.
Okay, so Arsh, what do you think is the global scene of mobile gaming compared to India?
Oh, I got the hard question.
Yes, sir. You did.
Wow. So I want to say something, from the, what the previous answers were.
Yeah.
Like Aman said, mobile gaming, the biggest advantage of mobile gaming is right now smartphone is everyone's, it's a necessity, right?
Hmm.
So it's accessible to everyone. And then in comparison, then what happened is everyone has a smartphone. Everyone had better games, from the previous generations when we were playing Temple Run and games like that. Then we had PUBG, which was much more complex compared to the previous games. It was something very new, very revolutionary for the mobile gamers. And then what happened is in India, it normalized the whole gaming scene, right? That you can make a career out of it. It is a viable source of income as well. You could stream, you could host tournaments, you could participate in tournaments, you could be an esports player. A lot many options it opened up in India.
Hmm.
But in comparison, like when I say the global scene, I'm not taking in I'm just comparing the countries where only the mobile games are too much famous, right?
Hmm.
Like I think Brazil, India, and he already mentioned Philippines, right? And there are like many countries in Indian subcontinent, it's this third world countries where
Hmm.
mobile gaming really got the boost recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we compared them to the previous giants in this esports industry like US and like take Europe in general, right? And maybe some parts of Asia as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what we see is, I think when we talk about esports, I don't think mobile gaming had that big an impact in the global scene as much as it had on these few countries.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can see that, right? Like when you go on YouTube, you just open PUBG Mobile, and they're like, if 35,000 people are watching PUBG Mobile, 20K plus are going to be from India only. Maybe a
Right.
much
Yeah.
much more than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you just take esports in consideration only, right, not just the gaming in general, like
Right.
obviously there was an impact of PUBG Mobile and these games on gaming in general as well,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
it gave nice new games to many people. Like PUBG Mobile was not the only thing that came out of this revolution, right?
Right.
I mean,
Mm.
there were some games, some got banned because we already know some, right? And then this
Right.
Free Fire, Wild Rift, many new games coming out. So it
Correct.
gave new games to the mobile gaming community. So it did help in a global scenario as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't say the impact is as much as it is for like for countries like India, because in those countries gaming was already a thing. And if you had time, you would just get a PlayStation, play games. You'd get a PC and play games. Obviously it had some impact, but I think in case of India, it had like major impact. It normalized the whole idea of gaming and making money out of it.
Great, great. Thank you for the hard answer back there, Arsh.
Mm.
So I've been listening a lot of PUBG Mobile reference coming in this discussion today. So Rudraksh, so you're coming from a journalism background. There is a new hot topic happening in the news these days that PUBG
Yeah.
Mobile might get banned. So
Yeah.
so do you think that it would be banned by the government of India? And if so happens, what do you think, in your opinion, would be the legal aspects involved in it?
So yesterday there was an update. Tencent, they updated their privacy policy regarding PUBG Mobile in India. So all the data from India will be stored on India's server itself. They are bringing in Indian servers. The Indian data will only be stored on Indian servers. The other thing is that the third party data, right? The data when it is given to the third parties, it will only be shared on the basis that it won't go anywhere else. They cannot use it, they cannot share it, or anything else. Now that does put Tencent into a good position if the government is actually looking to ban apps only on the basis of their privacy issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't trust this government, and if they're looking to ban apps based on the fact that they're Chinese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, we might actually be facing a real problem here that PUBG might actually get banned
Mm-hmm.
because see, I see a lot of websites saying that Tencent only has a 1.5% stake in Bluehole and PUBG Corp, so they won't get banned. But what they don't realize it is that PUBG Mobile is developed by Bluehole and or PUBG Incorporated corporation, but it is published by Tencent, right? So if the Indian government is looking to ban Chinese apps, PUBG Mobile will be banned.
Will be
It's
I
banned.
going
just
to be
Okay.
want
on
to
the
I
list.
just want to say I'm pretty sure that like PUBG Mobile is built by Tencent as well. PUBG the game is built by Bluehole, as
Yeah,
well as PUBG Lite.
PUBG Mobile, the development is done by Tencent.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so because it's
development
kind
is
of
there.
ported now, so the port
Yeah, yeah,
part, all of it is done by Tencent actually.
yeah.
See,
It's
Even if that is true, the fact that it is published by Tencent, the servers are maintained by Tencent,
mhm.
the data is handled by Tencent, the PR, marketing, the tournaments, they're all pushed by Tencent. So
Right.
Tencent is a Chinese company. But after yesterday's privacy policy update, and so I mean, it's like इस पे आता है what is the government's wish? They
That's
want to
right.
ban Chinese apps for the sake of being Chinese apps, or they actually we are banning apps based on their privacy policies.
I think time is going to tell what's the decision going to be.
Yeah.
In continuity to this question, Arsh, I would like to ask you something. What the legal aspects about them? So, what do you think if people try to use third-party softwares like VPNs or other, if in case the PUBG gets banned and they try to use softwares like VPNs to play the game? What do you think that should be the thing to do?
Okay, so first of all, I want to add something to the previous point when Rudraksh said that, like I was not aware that PUBG updated their privacy policy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like
Yeah,
it's yeah. So this is because this is kind of, I don't know how do I put it, because it's such a huge market for Tencent that they're just trying their best to stay in the market, and that speaks a lot that how big a community PUBG has built in India. And
Mm-hmm.
we already saw these rumors going around about when the TikTok was banned. There were rumors going about that TikTok wants to move out of China and they want to be based somewhere else for this reason. I don't know how real they were. That's why I said they were rumors going out. But we see the similar thing happening here where PUBG is trying to stay in India, even if they had to make changes to how their privacy policy is handled. And for a company that is based in China, it is a big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
China is not much of a democracy, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
They can't really do many things that at least we can do here, right? There are many you can do there are many not do, but the companies are often accused of being under control of the government in China.
So,
And
so,
when
so
a
do you
company
think using means like VPNs and playing the game, even though it is banned, would be the right thing to do?
yeah, so I see the right thing to do is a very there's no answer to that, to be
All right,
honest.
all right, fair
It
answer.
if you
the right thing
ask
for whom? The right thing for
yeah,
whom?
I mean,
The question.
like if the guy's having fun, is it a right thing? Is it wrong thing?
Mm-hmm.
How illegal it is? I told you, right? We had a call about this that it's an issue. It just falls in those gray areas. We don't know if it's the right thing or not. But by using VPN, and to be honest, now I have seen this thing when a government is hell bent on banning something. Now there's no way you can access this, and we have seen this with the TikTok part as well, where people were like, "Yeah, we can use VPN," and the next day were like, "Nah, VPNs are not working, bruh."
Mm-hmm.
Right, that thing happened. So, but okay, people might be able to find ways to access the game, but the thing is, uh, the way PUBG has influenced the community. If it gets banned, many people won't play it. Like streamers won't take the chance of playing a banned game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the game's marketing gets a hit, and the same time, esports will get a major hit because they can't legally do any esports in India, right? If it gets
Correct,
banned officially. So
correct,
it doesn't
correct.
matter if people can access it. The game will be dead more or less.
I want to add something.
Yes.
You said TikTok can't be accessed via VPN. I think that's more of a TikTok's decision to not make it accessible rather than the government's ability
Yeah,
to not let users use the app. Mostly because TikTok and most other apps on Android and iOS go through their specific stores, right? And Android it goes through Play Store, and iOS it goes through the iOS store. I don't know
Apple
what it's
Store,
called.
Apple Store.
Apple Store.
Yeah.
Apple Store.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Right. So App Store. When when these apps basically why TikTok has turned off Indian region is because they are in negotiating terms with the government to make sure that they can still stay basically. And in that time, they don't want to let the government be like say things like people are still using your app. Why you can just go away
Why
with
are
your
you not
illegal. Yeah,
restricting access
yeah,
to it
you're
when we
not
already
restricting.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it's a negotiable term where they're on ice, like thin ice right now. So they have to also play safe. Um,
Right,
and yeah,
right.
So the
Uh,
reason I quoted this was, oh, sorry, I just need to finish one sentence. So the reason I quoted this was the same reason, Aman, that they'll have to listen to government. They are that
yeah.
big entities, and they can't take the risk of doing something shady like this, where they just let people access it and say and that we are not allowed to operate.
I mean, it basically won't even matter if you're able to access it through VPN or
Yeah.
not. Like Ash said, the esports PUBG esports scene will be dead. Streamers won't be able to stream it.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
So, I mean, I don't think there would be a point to, I mean, sure, if you like the game, sure, but as professionals, as people in working in the scene, there won't be a point to, even being able to access it through
There
VPN.
won't be any
Correct,
professionals in the scene for
Yeah.
PUBG
So
after it's banned. So yeah.
correct. Well, okay. So, for example, if the ban does happen, Aman, do you think the other games in the similar genre, like Free Fire or the games like Wild Rift or other MOBA games, What kind of effect is going to transfer to them if the ban happens? Do you think they will also come under certain of limelight, or they're going to get a boost because of it? What do you think about it?
I mean, if and once PUBG gets banned, people will want a similar game, so they'll move on to a similar game. Which game takes advantage of the ban depends on the game and like the people behind that game and what their interests are in India, right? If I know Free Fire is similar to PUBG. If Free Fire is smart, they will take advantage of it and they'll start releasing ads and shit like that to make sure that everyone who does not have PUBG anymore, they can get an alternative, right? And as far as mobile games go, one got banned already before everything else, right? Which is Mobile Legends,
Correct.
and it basically put a break on everything, right?
Correct.
Or whatever was surrounding that game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think the government much cares about privacy, mostly because of how they have dealt with. I mean, I'm talking. See, there are different parts of the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think when people say government is banning this, government banning that, they think everything is like one entity. People need to understand there are different parts of the government, and the specific part which is trying to ban these apps and stuff. I don't think privacy is the only reason. Obviously, that China issue is there, and that's an international issue that India is dealing with right now.
Right.
There's a lot of facets and sides to that issue that is not related to games at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, because most of the apps that got banned aren't games, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
That already got banned. So I don't think if PUBG and other app, if the government feels like PUBG and other apps need to go,
Mm-hmm.
they'll do it. They did that with TikTok. TikTok has much larger base than PUBG in India, and
Okay.
a much larger business model amongst other things than PUBG, I imagine.
Right.
So I might not know the specifics of how much PUBG earns in comparison to TikTok, but I believe like TikTok is a bigger because yeah, you can almost see it in your face at times.
And
So
yeah.
yeah,
So Rudrash, do you
it's
think?
everywhere. It's right.
Sorry. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So Rudrash, do you think also the competitors like Free Fire definitely going to be an advantageous situation, or people will think about the plus and minuses of a game being banned and actually not move to a game, or they would actually take the fall for it and go to a new game? What do you think?
See, it's like people now have a taste for video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who are playing PUBG, they now have a taste for esports. They will want a new game.
They will.
Now, which game actually comes to dominate the market if PUBG does in case gets banned? It would mostly depend on the marketing things, the marketing of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Currently, people are, after PUBG, it's not Free Fire, it's Call of Duty Mobile,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Call of Duty Mobile
But Call
actually
of
has
Duty
a
Mobile
job.
is also by Tencent.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
वही है
it's the
ना, see, yeah,
same
that's
issue you
true.
will face. If PUBG gets
That's
banned,
true.
Call of Duty and the mobile
It
Tencent
will follow.
will
It will
not be
follow.
it will not be far behind. It's the same thing at
Yeah,
the end of the
it
day.
will follow.
Yeah, that's
Same
true.
company.
Right.
When you say that, it is true. But वही है कि fine, if Call of Duty नहीं, they'll find Free Fire होगी, ठीक है,
So they will
and
find
then
some game to fall onto. They will
yeah,
definitely
they
go.
will.
And
So
I
they
Yeah,
think
have
I
it.
uh,
think
Hmm.
I just want to say something. Sorry for
Yes, please.
interrupting. It's
No
like it's
worries.
like if you eat chicken once
Yeah.
and then your mom tells you no chicken for 7 days, you'll be craving it, right? Like you want it a little bit. They've banned it, but it's like in during pujas or
Mm-hmm.
like religious festivals and stuff like that. I'm sure every parent has said, "Don't eat
Lahum,
non-veg."
right? Yeah,
How many people
wow,
actually follow
that's a
that?
nice analogy. I won't lie.
Right.
Right now, government is like, don't play PUBG.
Yeah, don't
It's
play PUBG.
Chinese.
I mean,
It's
they won't play
Chinese.
PUBG. Technically, they won't play PUBG. They'll find something else because that it's entertainment. Everyone's inside the house. It's
Right.
entertainment. There's nothing to
Yeah,
do.
and
Right.
that
Yeah.
that that adds a big, thing to this whole scenario because everyone is free to play those games. And right now, as Aman mentioned and Rudaksh mentioned, that if they do the marketing right, and I don't know if you guys know, but I think Free Fire did launch some TV ads in India too.
they also got Kenny Sebastian on board, but I wasn't really a fan of that kind of marketing because I don't think the fan base actually,
Yeah.
listens to Kenny
Yeah.
Sebastian or
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. They're targeting two very different
Yeah,
Yeah,
communities.
I
I guess.
don't,
Maybe by
I
now.
don't know what's going on over there. Like, yeah,
But in any case, they are trying, so they just might be the next option available to the people. Because see, when we talk about battle royale games, after PUBG, now everyone just names either Call of Duty or Free Fire,
hmm,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
Rudaksh, you did the same thing. But the thing is, people won't be considering Call of Duty as their next game because the same predicament is just
yeah,
surrounding the Call of Duty, right? The same PUBG thing could happen to Call of Duty anytime, and it's less likely for that to happen to Free Fire.
Correct.
And because Free Fire right now has some operation in India, at least it's much more than some little operation. They're
yeah.
trying
They're on a
to
hiring spree right now.
yeah, yeah. So they're trying to fire up things in India. So, it could be their golden chance to, boost up their game. So I think that's very real. But as for the
Apart,
mobile games, uh, Wild Rift might or might not get a boost out of it. But as I had this argument with someone already, that these are very two different
different.
games. So those mobile legend players might go to Wild Rift, right? That is true. But I doubt, it's going to be that PUBG players specifically will be like, yeah, we should stop shooting guys and we should start using magic circles and like.
One thing I wanted to add was apart from the company's marketing, it will also depend on where the streamers move to, what
Correct.
game the
That's
streamers
a
move,
very valid point. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And and what games do the teams move to? Like, see, Fnatic is in India for PUBG, right? But if it gets banned, if they want to stay in India, they will have to look to a new game, right? So even that will depend, right? So I mean, we'll
So
have to see it.
a lot of thing
There's
depends
a
on the
lot of variables.
influencers as well. How the influencer
Yeah.
is going to move and how they're going to tell
Ul-
the community which what to look
hmm.
forward to. So that is going to be a thing
Ultimately,
as well.
I mean,
it will all be on influencers. If the brands and the game companies are able to bring them on board.
Hmm.
I also want to put a different perspective on this.
Hmm.
Please do.
Everyone keeps thinking that people will move from PUBG to Free Fire or a similar game, right?
Hmm.
People tend to forget that, like I said before, there have been similar um, ripple effects and I think like waves of similar games trending, a certain genre of games
Hmm.
trending for 2 3 years at a time. I think BC gamers will know this very well.
Hmm.
There was a certain time, and I think anyone who's played PC gaming for the last 15 years will know exactly what I'm talking about. From 2005 to 2007, MMOs were the thing. Everyone was making MMOs.
Correct.
From 2007 to 2010, everyone was making MOBAs,
Hmm.
right? Everyone wanted to copy Dota. Everyone tried copying Dota till 2011 straight.
Hmm.
Then came the survival games,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Which is people trying to copy Minecraft and Rust, Forest, etc., etc.
Terra.
Then came after survival games. I keep forgetting. And then came I think Arma type games, and then came the PUBG type games, which was an Arma mod initially,
Hmm.
and then that trend became. I have a feeling
PUBG
that
was an H1Z1 mod, I think,
yeah,
not
it was
yeah, first it was H1Z1. First it was H1Z1 before. I think PUBG was the first game that introduced that circle,
Hmm.
which made the game more, because the problem I remember with games like H1Z1 and previous versions of battleground games which existed but they never became a thing, because what would happen was that circle did not exist,
Hmm.
right? And so everyone would just camp throughout the map.
wasn't there a circle in the King of the
King
Kill?
of the Hill. King of the Hill.
King of the
Yeah,
Hill.
but
Yeah, I
but
forgot
but that
actually. I
was a
played it.
specific. But that those were very niche titles still, right? It was never very
Yeah.
easy to go. Drop in one game, you die in the next 2 minutes, and then you can drop in again. It was
Hmm.
never like that, right? And the number of players, these things, like a lot of things PUBG introduced, which is 100 player battlegrounds, right? The circle. The circle was truly the unique part because it made people come together and fight, right, to make
Right.
sure that they're the last one standing.
Right.
Previous versions had everyone just scattered around camp all day, and they're not ending the game for 2 days, and they're like, okay, this exactly happened in Rust. So in Rust, people would just stay alive, build their bases, and just stay alive, basically camp, right, and try to create trap bases.
So what you're
I think
suggesting
that
is there's going to be a pattern of evolution like this. So this can be
I
one type of games to the other, then the other. This is what you're.
I think newer games come out every time, and
Mm-hmm.
we have seen, and there is always that one or two games that set a certain trend,
Mm-hmm.
and that trend goes on for the next 3 years. I think we are almost at a time where we're gonna see the next trend, like probably the next 1 2 years, and we're gonna see another mobile game that's gonna be completely different than PUBG or Mobile
So
Legends.
we shouldn't be
And
sad about anything. There's going to be something new, anyways, right?
of course,
There always is, something always fills the gap. It is the
Correct.
yes,
natural order. You can't really, deny that.
because
Beautiful.
gaming is an entertainment medium at the end of the day. Developers are very creative people, right? They always
And
they do,
they
a
find
lot
a
of
chance
develop
and they just use it.
a lot of developers out there are trying to copy PUBG, but a lot of developers, and this will, their effort is the hardest, I think, are
Correct.
trying to up PUBG. They're trying to beat PUBG by becoming the next best thing,
All
right?
right, good. All right, guys, I'd
So,
love to discuss more on
yeah.
this, but I have very limited time and I have one more question to ask all of you guys. So, before mobile gaming, there was PC gaming, there was also console gaming, right? So, due the onset of mobile gaming, do you think it has done a positive or a negative impact on PC or console gaming together? Let's start with Arch, you.
So, okay, I'll talk about, I think, like anything, it had both of those things, and I think we have observed it like very closely because living in India, we could see how mobile gaming has actually influenced, let's say, PC gaming or console gaming. And well, if we talk about the positive influences, I personally know many people, who got into the mobile gaming and then were just not, content with it and then moved to like either consoles, and most of them moved to PCs, right? Even these days in games like Valorant and many free to play games that are easy to run on any PCs like Brawlhalla, and not Brawlhalla as much, but the games like Valorant and few
Valorant.
other games,
Mm-hmm.
you see that there are people, which came from mobile gaming, which got introduced to mobile gaming. They just, loved it and they were like, oh, I want to do something better than this. And they moved to the, PC gaming or console gaming. So it did, act as a gateway to the whole world of gaming and, all the gaming culture and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely it had some negative impacts because everyone was doing this at some point, so kids were doing it, they were not studying, and this was real thing, right? This was not something ki, like a parent sometimes exaggerate things like ki, our child plays games all day. This was actually happening, right? It did have a negative impact on gaming in the way that in India, it seemed like, a bad thing. Gaming was a bad thing, and it did create a lot of hype on the social media and stuff like that. And another thing was the community that came with the PUBG Mobile,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
Uh, how that mattered was when we were in PC gaming and let's say just say PC gaming for the sake of ease of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In PC gaming, communities were very hard to build in India at least, right? We
Mm-hmm.
had to like work closely, and there were always some scuffle going on where it could just lead to the fall of a whole community. We
Okay.
saw this back in Battlefield community. CS:GO community was always a uh, I want to use a very dignified term, but I can't find a term for shit show, right? And it was kind of a weird thing, but it was a community nevertheless. There were people playing it, there was things happening around it, there were tournaments happening around it. And then came PUBG, which swooped everything away, right? But the thing with PUBG was everyone had it. So the community, I want to say, a lot of them are very grateful that something so excited came,
Okay.
but a lot of them were not at the same time. You would see that in the stream chats, right? And you would see that in the how the community basically reacts to the things that happen. We see, esports players and streamers posting that they're getting uh not so good reactions from their own communities, but overall I would say it had a like very positive influence on the normalizing the idea of gaming in India,
Mm-hmm.
even though it came with its fair share of the negative things, though these ideas are the just ones that I can just directly see. I'm not really an esports professional, and I can't really give those opinions from myself. I can just tell you what I have seen. And if I had to just choose one, I would say it had a lot of positive influences, even though myself I'm not a fan of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But like when the new players ask me, "Oh, do you play games?" and I tell them, "Yeah, I've been doing that, half of my life," and they just, their eyes, shine brightly. "Oh, bro, you're something," and I just feel nice about it, right? People know what gaming is. Previously, they
Nice.
didn't. Previously, there would be like, okay,
People,
what say Mario?
yeah, best thing I can tell you is like in school I would talk about video games all the time,
Mhm.
and I'd be the only person talking about video games all
100%.
the time. I'd be the odd one out. Like there's an entire batch of like 200 students, and the one guy like video games, like
Okay.
cricket. Everyone else was like just cricket. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely got more popular.
So video
Mobile.
gaming in general has become more popular because of the
Yeah,
mobile
Yeah, yeah.
it
influence that has happened overall. Do you?
Yeah.
So Rudraksh, I have one more similar line of questions coming up from the
Mm,
similar topic. Do
mm.
you think there is a progressive upgrade of people playing on mobile towards PC or consoles in coming times? Like for example, somebody starts playing on their mobile phones and becomes a mobile gamer. Do you think they have a chance to, or they even want to, upgrade to PC or consoles?
It's already happening, right?
Okay.
So basically, PUBG. After PUBG came, we now have Valorant, right? So there are a lot of people moving to Valorant. But one of the most important factors in that is that Valorant is a very accessible game. It will run even on a decade-old PC. वो भी if that too on 60 FPS, right? So it has already started to happen, and we can. And if you see, like I said earlier, right, कि, PC game streamers, right? They were streaming PUBG Mobile, then they started streaming these console and PC games, and still they were getting viewers. Initially, that wasn't the case, but now people have started getting the viewers, right? And because of people like Carrie Minati and Tanmay Bhatt. So, matlab, I'm not really a fan of calling them game. I'm a fan of them, and I am not really. I don't really want to call them gamers, but उनकी वजह से हुआ है. People are getting to know that PUBG Mobile के अलावा भी games हैं. People are,
yes.
people are getting into gaming. They're discovering stuff, right? So yeah, I mean it will थोड़ा बहुत impact है, but if you have to consider the economic background of a country, right? Not everyone can afford PCs, and so I mean ठीक है, awareness होगी, but transition, if you are thinking कि esports वाला scene होगा like PUBG Mobile का हो रखा है. That's tough. I mean, for the coming years, it will be tough. अभी तो फिलहाल we'll only have the esports scene for mobile.
For mobile
So
only.
there's something I would like to add to that. When we talk about this thing, he's right about all of it that most of us can't afford that, right?
Mm.
But at the same time, many of these people could afford those gaming PCs or consoles, but they were just not really introduced to the whole idea of gaming and if it exists, how big it is. But with PUBG Mobile, that thing did get a boost, right? People now know there's a thing called gaming, and because of that, the people who could afford it previously now know that there's something that they can do,
So in general,
right?
you're saying that the interest in gaming is increasing because of mobile gaming
Yeah.
in general,
I
Mm.
mean,
right?
at
In
least the
general,
idea, people know what gaming is. The idea is out there. Previously, it
yeah,
was
gaming
not
is
as
seeing
much.
a gaming is seeing a boost, but esports scene that will remain more or less the same
Right.
regarding mobile games, right?
Regarding mobile
Mobile
games.
games will lead the esports scene and investments.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much, guys. This has been a wonderful talk. We've had lots of amazing discussions and thoughts coming forward. We have exceeded the time limits, but I'm so glad that we did. We got lots of amazing inputs. Thank you so much for joining in. And thank you so much, Aman, for your precious time. Thank you so much, Rudraksh, for your amazing time. Thank you so much, Arsh, for the amazing time yourself. I will be hoping to see you soon again on the show, and hopefully we get to discuss some more topics in time. Thank you so much, guys. Well, that was a great discussion. We talked about PUBG Mobile getting banned and its effects on the esport industry overall and lots of other related topics. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I hope you guys had a great time talking about it. So, guys, all the guest of honors, Instagrams, and Twitter handles are mentioned in the video itself. Make sure you go and contact them, follow on their socials, and do not forget to follow socials of SteveZDad as well for current updates and videos like this. Thank you so much for joining in. We will see you next week. Take care of yourself and have a great time. Cheers.